Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first session of our online student readiness series. I'm so glad you're able to join us today. My name is Sam, and I'm a success coach for online students with SUNY. I primarily work with undergraduate students in the psychology and business programs. I look forward to learning about each of you during today's session. As we get started, I'm glad to see such a wide variety of attendees. I see some applicants who are preparing early, as well as some newly accepted students getting ready for your first semester. To begin, let's take a look at our agenda for this session. I want to begin by learning how you're feeling about getting started with your studies. Then we'll focus on how much time and money you can expect to dedicate to your schoolwork. We will address some common myths about online learning, and you will walk away with only the facts. My hope is that by discussing these misconceptions, you will feel much more comfortable in knowing that you belong here with SUNY. We will wrap up our webinar by exploring different opportunities and benefits of online learning. To begin, I'd like to check in and see how you're feeling about your first term with SUNY Online, whether you've already been admitted or if you're still in the process of completing your application. Take a moment to ask yourself, how are you feeling about your first semester with SUNY Online? Are you feeling excited and ready? Are you feeling excited but a little bit nervous? Maybe you're just unsure about what is to come. Some of you might even be feeling anxious and are really looking for some help. In my experiences, most of you are probably feeling a little nervous about getting started. You're not alone, and you're definitely in the right place. Whether you're super excited or super nervous, we are here to help. Let's get started by looking at the level of commitment necessary for a successful semester. As you know, online learning requires students to dedicate personal time to completing coursework. Since there's no in-person classroom, it's necessary to set aside specific time to make sure you can succeed in your studies. You probably have quite a few commitments in your life already, so it's important to evaluate everything you're currently responsible for when determining how school responsibilities will fit into your world. Let's take a look at how to know exactly how much time to set aside.
You should plan to commit 10 hours per week to each course you are enrolled in. If you're a full-time student enrolled in 4 courses, you'll need to prepare to spend 40 hours a week on schoolwork. This includes things like attending virtual lectures, studying, completing assignments, and so on. That's a full-time job. While we know many of you want to complete your degree as soon as possible, it is important to consider what is already on your very full plates.
Think about work, caregiving, and any other responsibilities or time commitments you have. How will you succeed in adding schoolwork to your list of priorities? Where will academic commitments fall on the list? Take a look at some of the words on the screen here. Do any of these resonate with you? Let's take another moment to really think about where you stand in terms of your commitments throughout your school year. Think again, which of the following commitments would apply to you? Do you have family commitments, work or employment obligations, caregiving responsibilities? Are you engaged in personal activities and hobbies? Hopefully. Do you have any religious or spiritual or community affiliations? Maybe you spend some time focusing on the health and wellness of yourself or some loved ones. Looking at everything on your plate all at once might feel a little bit overwhelming. Successful online students manage their time to balance competing commitments. First, let's talk about using your support network to your advantage. How can the people in your life help you succeed in your academic goals? Be sure to lean on your support network. This can consist of friends, family, coworkers, your coach, your professors, your campus, and so on. You may need some help finding, let's say, someone to review flashcards with, or you might be unsure of where to find information on financial aid. Either way, lean into that support network. That's what they are here for, support. How many of you have distractions or jobs to do around the house on a regular basis? Are you a stay-at-home parent or caregiver? Whether it is within or outside of your house, be sure to delegate responsibilities if you can. If you have a lot going on at home, who in your household can help with some of those tasks while you take a few hours to focus on school? Do not be afraid to put yourself first. As you begin your online educational journey, think of strategies that have worked for you in high school or in any previous college or professional experiences. While online and in-person learning are very different from each other, it's important to recognize what's worked for you in the past so you can commit to it in the future. In our next slide, let's look at some other helpful suggestions on managing your time. We've talked about delegating to other people so you have time to focus on your studies. However, we all know that won't solve everything. Let's consider what ways you can ensure that you are effectively managing your time. Consider right off the bat if you have any strategies that you already plan to use. Check out a helpful video that covers some of the SUNY Online team's favorite tips to help you manage your time.
Time management. It's one of those skills where you might know what it is, but you might not know how to best utilize it. Not to worry. We're going to go over 4 of our top time management tips to help you become the master of your own time. Our first recommendation is to prioritize. Identify what needs to be done first and organize your to-do list in order of importance. This could include things outside of school as well, like dishes, laundry, caregiver responsibilities, and so on. There are several ways to prioritize your assignments, and it all depends on what works for you. Make a running list of to-do items and then prioritize them based on your own parameters. What is due first? What will take the longest? What is most important? Next, let's get organized. We highly recommend the use of some sort of planner or calendar system. Detail all your assignments and due dates for school in your planner in addition to personal items like birthdays or doctor's appointments. This makes you more inclined to look at it. Seeing your schedule laid out in front of you will help you promote a work-life-school balance. Is there a week super packed with assignments? Plan to get a jump start so that you'll have the time you need to get everything completed without any of that last-minute panic or rushing. Being proactive with planning your time will also allow for a time cushion in case the unexpected creeps up. Blocking or chunking up your time is a great strategy for managing time, especially as an online student. Break up larger tasks into smaller segments to make your to-do list more manageable. This allows you to commit fully to one task for a set amount of time, rather than multitasking and losing focus. This can also make those big assignments feel much more feasible as you work on them throughout the week, rather than cramming the entire assignment into one night. Finally, the best way to develop good habits is to start them early. If something isn't working, adjust your approach and keep at it. If you're feeling unsure or having trouble with implementing time management skills that work for you, you can always reach out to your success coach for additional help. Remember, you've got this.
Wow, that was quite a few helpful tips. I hope you are able to find at least one that you plan to use in the future. Now that we have identified time and strategies for completing your coursework, let's discuss what you can expect in terms of costs when it comes to online learning. Continuing your education requires a financial commitment. The decision to enroll in school is not one that you made lightly, and we want you to be aware of potential costs as well as your options if something unexpected comes up along the way. Each semester, you can anticipate spending money on tuition and fees. If you are interested in finding a specific estimate of tuition and fee costs, ask your coach. They will be more than happy to point you in the right direction. You will also want to set aside funds for books and materials. Books can be physical copies or digital copies, depending on what is available to you and what your professor has selected. Materials include anything you need to access and succeed in your education, such as internet right in your home, a computer, access to reliable Wi-Fi elsewhere, or a quiet space where you can focus. So what about the financial impact of changes to your educational plans? We know that life happens. So then what happens when something gets in the way of your studies or when you take on more than your schedule actually allows? The first thing you can do, as always, is talk to your coach. They can guide you on asking your professors for help, and they might even refer you to campus resources that can assist, such as the tutoring center, writing center, or the library. Your coach can't help you if you don't ask, so don't be afraid to reach out. Your coach can also discuss the add drop period with you. During the add drop period, you can drop or unregister from a course without losing any of the money you have paid or committed to the school for that class. The add drop period is usually a very short window once the semester starts. This means that in many cases, it's not possible to get your money back or to avoid some financial liability when removing yourself from a course. At many campuses, this process is called a withdrawal. Your coach can walk you through this withdrawal process and, if necessary, get you in touch with the correct office on campus to assist and clarify any financial implications. SUNY Online attracts a wide variety of students with different experiences. Some of you have been in an online course before, some of you may have participated in on-campus courses, and some of you have not yet even attended college. In any of these cases, it's completely understandable to have some assumptions about online learning. Let's take a minute to talk about 4 common myths about online learning, and then I can share the facts with you. Myth number 1, online learning is easier. I won't have a commute and I won't have to be in class, so I don't have to commit as much time as I would for in-person learning. Myth 2, all online learning experiences are the same. I've taken online courses before, so I know what I should expect. Myth 3, as an online student, I'm on my own. And myth 4, I'll be the oldest person in my class. Online learning is not meant for adult learners. I'm pleased to say that all of the above are just myths. Let's talk about those misconceptions and how they really provide opportunities in online learning. 1, online learning requires just as much time commitment as in-person learning does. While you might not have to worry about commuting or traffic, you'll still plan to commit 10 hours to each course per week. However, it does offer plenty of opportunities for flexibility. Our courses are asynchronous, so there's no set time that you have to log in to attend class. As long as you follow your course deadlines, you can complete the work on your own time. Fact 2, all online learning experiences are not the same. You give up a bit of uniformity when you're an online learner. No 2 courses or instructors are the same. While it is your responsibility to learn and understand the material, there are resources available to support you as an online student, both in and out of the virtual classroom. Fact 3, online learning allows for extensive networking with your professors, staff, and classmates who are from across the country. Whether you're interacting through discussion posts or chat boards, you will always be able to interact with your classmates and professors. Lastly, you're never too old to continue your education. SUNY Online has students ranging in age from 20 to 75, and that age gap is growing. You're never too old to learn. Let's take a moment to think back to my question from the beginning of the presentation. How do you think your semester will go? Has your outlook changed at all? Go ahead and take a moment to reflect on how your mindset may have shifted during the presentation. Lastly, consider what strategies you plan on using in order to be successful in your online courses for your first semester. We look forward to working with you. If you do have any questions on any of our sessions, go ahead and contact your SUNY Online Student Success Coach for more information. If you're looking for how to contact them, you can start by emailing your coach at studyonline@suny.edu or giving us a call at the number listed on your screen, 518-445-4140. Thanks again for joining us. I'm glad you were able to stop in.